understand that ghosting is actually a blessing and the right couple is coming for you.
Hi, I'm Brittany.
I'm Alex.
And you're in the Editing Castle. Today's episode is going to be super short, super fun, and probably kind of upsetting. But we're talking about getting ghosted because a lot of our friends reached out and shared that they are struggling with the feeling of getting an inquiry, feeling really connected to the opportunity, and then ultimately hearing nothing.
This is something that we all have struggled with at some point in time in our business. We understand. We stand you.
Why do you think it hurts so much to get ghosted, Alex?
I think that it hurts so much because as small business owners, entrepreneurs, doing all of the different things that go along with the business, we feel that everything is so personal. And us taking time out of our day to respond to any questions that you have in an email, going through with a call, sending an agreement, and then not hearing anything back, that is just really debilitating. I get what you're saying. I understand why you feel how you feel. But at the same time, we have to remove that emotional connection to every single inquiry that we have until they're actually our client. This is not like you cannot count how many eggs you have in your basket until they're in your basket. You have to make sure that you are remembering that until somebody has invested their money in you and signed that contract, they are not yours.
You do have to kind of go into all of these interactions with an open heart and an open mind. You can't bank on anything until it is final. I do believe it's very personal because it's deeply connected to this whole concept of imposter syndrome. If somebody doesn't respond to me, it's a reflection on my abilities, my talent. And if you can find a way to release the idea that there's any external validation needed at all for your skills and your experience, you will be able to stay centered when things come and they go. Try not to connect your value to any external source. Make sure that you're always internally addressing just how amazing you are.
Because you are amazing. They might not be responding because they have so much on their plate right now. What if this is the busy season? We just look at everything like, I deserve an email because I sent that email. Yes, I understand that. But if this is the beginning of the planning phases for this wedding couple, they have a lot on their plate too. They have to talk with a bunch of different vendors. They have to vet out everybody for all different types of reasons. They have to talk to their sharks about some way to invest in all of these beautiful professionals. And if they really do love you as much as you think that they do, they're going to find a way to make that investment. And they're going to get back to you when they're ready.
Are there any specific mantras that you could offer to our friends that will allow them to stay centered and to maybe move past this personal, very emotional connection to any opportunity?
Absolutely. If it's meant to be yours, you cannot mess it up. What's meant to be yours will be yours. It's not personal. It's business.
Last one feels so sharp.
But at the same time, like, until they've actually paid you money, they don't have to respond to you. Like, okay, I get it. You want a response. I always want a response.
Of course.
I literally see when someone opens a message and I'm like, okay, what are they going to say? Fire back. I'm ready.
Fire.
But that's me allocating their response time based on that I want it right now. I also give advice that says, take time with your responses. How am I the same person? Like I want you to actually prepare a thoughtful response. I want you to think about what you're going to say before you say it. In that same breath, literally, in that same breath, I've given advice on both sides and it's both true. So just understand that whatever somebody's going through, let them go through it and then they'll get back to you.
I like to think about this in terms of numbers. Alex and I are lucky enough to get somewhere around 1 inquiry per day. We have been capturing weddings full time for 5 years and we have established ourselves in our local market. If we are getting 1 inquiry per day, we couldn't possibly serve every single inquiry that we get. Because we've been able to look at this with an abundance mindset, we know that the right inquiries are going to find us. The right couples are going to come and fill our calendar. Some years that calendar looks like 38 weddings. Some years it looks like 18. What matters most to us is knowing that we are going to receive the abundance that we need. Everything's going to work out the way that we need it to. So some years are going to be busier, some years are going to be less exciting. But the reason why the exciting ones happen is for a reason. Those are the years you're getting better, you're you're getting the reps in, you're doing the work. And the years where it's a little less busy is because you maybe changed the parameters. Maybe you just changed your pricing. Maybe you changed the way that you do business, and that has shifted how things are going for you and will go for you moving forward. You need to give yourself permission to evolve and to roll with the punches of each year in business. Try to limit the noise that you might hear online about how it's booking season or people aren't really booking this year, or try to keep that information outside of your own psyche, because it will psych you out and it'll make you feel like there's all kinds of other reasons why people aren't following up with you and booking with you. Often I feel like if you're not getting booked, it's not because someone's ghosting you, but because there's something inside of your client experience or your overall product and service that could use improvement. So instead of expensing energy on why am I not getting responses, pour love into your business, into the crevices of what you do and how you do it, and you will find there will be a renewed energy moving forward.
Also, keep in mind that maybe some content that you have put out recently changes how somebody feels about you and your brand. Always keep in mind that any piece of content that you're putting out can give off that first impression, or it can change the energy about how they feel about you and who you're connected with. So even though it might be some silly post because people are talking about how much bookings are down or something, you don't have to live in that world.
You don't have to bring that to your audience.
You don't have to bring that to your audience, which is people that are keyed in on you, what you provide, and what that service looks like. If somebody is trying to be negative in your space, find a way not to be. Find a way to be positive. Find a way to reassure everyone that's watching that you're happy to be exactly where you are.
So beautifully said.
A lot of people have shared that they follow up right away. They follow up multiple times. They follow up often. This is a bold strategy, and I feel like there's definitely a reason to follow up, but you have to kind of understand where you're at in that booking process and communication process and understand why they haven't responded yet, which is a really difficult thing to do. But if you just keep in mind the mantra of if it's meant to be mine, it will be mine, it is easier to go longer without responses. We've had multiple months between correspondences, and then we picked up like it was our best friend just talking again, because wedding planning is a daunting task, and people have to break out sections of their lives to give time and love into planning a wedding. This is on top of family obligations. This is on top of career obligations. This is on top of travel season. This is on top of holidays.
And unexpected emergencies that completely derail things.
That derail any progress that they were having.
This is why you have to be very mindful of how that follow-up might feel.
We made a pact very early on in our business that we never want to reach out to somebody and make them feel like they're late. This is because inside I have a very traumatic response to feeling like I'm late, and I know it's not your favorite thing either.
No.
So with that being said, we decided that we never wanted to push that feeling of lateness or scarcity or fear onto our couples. That's not our energy. That's not our style. That's not our vibe. With that being said, if that is what you've done in the past, maybe it's time to reconsider that approach and to think about how that could be being perceived by the people that are reading your email.
It's so beautifully said, because when we made that pact early on, we also made a pact that we were never going to pitch ourselves to people for weddings. You see so many different engagement announcements on social media. We've always gone with the mindset of sharing celebration. We'll say congratulations, so we're in their mind, but we're never sending a message, hey, I saw you got engaged, consider me for photography. What we have always loved is the energy dynamic that comes from someone seeking us. This has allowed us to take a passive approach to inquiries. I know that if someone inquires with me, they're consenting to my next message.
They're already interested.
Exactly, which that's my bare minimum, is are people seeking my services. I never want to feel like I'm pressing myself onto anyone, because I don't love push marketing. There's not as much of an energy synergy when it comes to that kind of communication. And because of that, by the time I'm sending my prices and the examples of my beautiful work, I know that they're already interested in what I'm selling. I don't have to sell as much to those people because I know that they already have genuine interest. If I was pushing myself on people, it would feel so much more like I have to sell them. And I really liked selling to people that make it feel like I don't have to sell myself at all.
It's really important that when you do get get inquiries, that you understand the mindset and where those people are at when they're sending that inquiry. It's a great idea to have questions in your inquiry that give a space for those people to share more about why they're inquiring with you, to understand where they are in the booking process. Sometimes you might get an inquiry where somebody's just talking about pricing in every single answer slot. That's going to tell you a lot about that person. Focus more on asking questions and looking for responses about, hey, I've been following your journey forever. I was one of your first 100 followers. I love everything you do. I've been imagining you documenting my wedding. Somebody like that is going to be a lot more of a hot lead than somebody that's just saying, I'm getting married in 2027. I'm looking for pricing.
What are your rates?
What are your rates? Or somebody that bypasses one of the sections altogether and they're like, we don't have a venue yet. We don't have a date yet. What are your rates? An inquiry like that means a lot more to me in the way that I'm not expecting them to respond. I don't expect them to respond because they're telling me everything I need to know right in their questionnaire form. They're explaining that they don't really have a lot figured out. They're telling me that price is really the only thing that matters the most.
What would you say is probably the number one reason that photographers get ghosted?
Number one reason that photographers get ghosted is because they're not personalizing the messages back to the couple.
And not going out of their way to try to solve one of the couple's problems that they might have not mentioned but are definitely experiencing. So what's an example of that?
An example of that is to just use some type of robotic type of template that doesn't add any personality, doesn't show any bit of your character back to the couple, especially if the couple inside of their inquiry shared, we've been together since high school. My favorite song is Love Song by Taylor Swift. He sang that to me and we loved watching a sunset, and then we stayed out and had a picnic under the stars. If anybody is giving you some type of data like that, it's such a great idea to feed back into that, add personality into your
Mirror
response.
Mirror
that energy. We love templates. Templates makes everything easier for us on our end, but it definitely means more to the couple when they're reading that template if you've taken time to personalize it based on their inquiry. If they shared the venue that they're at and the date that they're getting married, ask them, what was your favorite part about this venue? I just looked at it and this part really caught my attention. Allow them to respond with what they loved about it.
Yeah, ask them genuine questions.
Ask them if that date has any significance in their love story.
Good question.
Maybe it was the same date as their parents got married. Or maybe it was their anniversary of dating and they were lucky enough to get that to be their wedding day. Anything like that shows that you care more about them than their money.
I also loved mirroring the energy of the inquiry. You can learn a lot by the information people share. If they don't go into any detail about why they chose you, you have every right to ask and see how they will respond. I think that our hottest leads can easily answer what they love about our work, whether that's our energy, our presence on social media, or the overall vibe of the product that we produce. And in a way, I was going to say, for what is the main reason why I think photographers get ghosted, I want you guys to really ask yourselves if you've set a standard with how new customers can treat you or will treat you in your business. I'm not saying that you should give off a standoffish vibe if people aren't going to treat you right, but there's definitely something to be said about how you need to hold yourself to a higher standard of how people are going to interact with you, especially if you're getting really bent out of shape by things like ghosting. If you're so upset by someone ghosting you, it might be because you have your standards set so low that you want any amount of money to come in whenever, and you might have just raised your prices, and now you have to raise your mindset as well. You as a business owner deserve to be paid more as you get better and as your skill evolves. So make sure that when you do raise your prices, you understand that that might come with some resistance.
That's a really good point, because if you just change your prices and you're getting ghosted, that might be in reaction to what you're now charging for your services.
Right.
So it's really important to conceptualize that there is going to be a period where you have to figure yourself out a little bit. What?
No, I like the way you said that.
There might be a period where you have to understand what the new normal is for what your booking rate is going to look like.
Yeah.
And I would love to piggyback on what you said a little bit earlier. Focus on people that love you for what you do, people that appreciate the work that you create.
You're ultimately going to love serving them so much more.
If somebody in their inquiry shares, hey, I really want you to emulate this person's style, that might not be somebody that you want to create with anyways. So don't be so heartbroken if they ghost you.
Always understand that if things don't work out, it could be a blessing in disguise. This is something that has also helped us to address our mindset when it comes to things like getting ghosted. If it doesn't work out, there was a reason it didn't work out. You have to subscribe to this narrative that if it's meant to be yours, it will be yours. And if it's not meant to be yours, it's not going to work out. You have no idea how many opportunities you weren't meant to serve that you completely bypassed because it didn't work out, because they didn't like your price, or because you got ghosted. There was a reason. And I want you to respect that ebb and flow with the universe and with abundance, and just understand that you're always going to be taken care of.
For example, maybe you get a bunch of inquiries for September 25th and you're like, oh my God, everybody loves that date. There's got to be a reason. And you get ghosted on every inquiry. You get ghosted for every inquiry for September 25th. So you find out that the reason that none of those inquiries for September 25th worked out is because 8 months later, and this is now within the same calendar year, your perfect inquiry lands in your inbox. There's no resistance. They say all the right things in their inquiry. They move ahead right away with your biggest package because they can't get enough of what you create, and then it all makes sense. So sometimes we have to just change our mindset and understand that ghosting is actually a blessing and the right couple is coming for you.
So beautifully said. Having an abundance mindset has served us so well in business. It's allowed us the peace of mind to go through years of business where we have hundreds and hundreds of couples that never respond to us at all, to free up our emotional headspace so we can energetically be available for the couples that we're lucky enough to serve. This is something that's so important if you want to be wildly successful. You need to clear out all of the negative energy and just focus on the abundance that you are already afforded. Serve the couples you already have so well, and that is going to multiply and create even better inquiries moving forward.
If this episode resonated with you and provided any value at all, please share a rating on whatever platform you're listening to. It means so much to us to read what you have to say about what we do in the editing castle.
If you love this episode, please share it to your Instagram story and tag us.
If you have any questions, topics, concerns, or anything that you'd love for us to cover on the editing castle, please send us an email at editingcastlepodcast@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you. Thank you so much for listening.
With that, we're so happy you stopped by.
And you're always welcome back.
We'll see you next time
in the editing castle.